you. Thank you very much, friends, and thank you so much for being here this evening. Friends, it is absolutely clear tonight that Queenslanders have spoken with the strongest possible voice and they have voted for a change of government. So I start tonight by congratulating the Liberal National Party on what is an historic victory for them, and I acknowledge that. I congratulate the leader of the LNP, Campbell Newman. I believe that being Premier of the best state of Australia is a great honour. So I wish Campbell Newman all the best as he embarks on the task of forming a new government and of assuming the responsibilities of office. I want tonight to thank a number of people. Firstly, I want to thank Queenslanders for giving me the opportunity to lead our great state. I want to thank my Cabinet and my team of parliamentary colleagues. I have been fortunate to have had a strong and united team who gave me their loyalty and their support through the most difficult of times, and I will forever be in their debt. I give special thanks tonight to Andrew Fraser. He is one of the brightest and best minds that I've ever worked with. He's one of the most decent human beings that I've ever met. And he's all that any leader could ask for in a deputy, and I believe he's a young man with a magnificent future. To all of our Labor members who've lost their seats today, I want to acknowledge how hard each and every one of you have worked. And I particularly want to acknowledge what strong champions you have been for the electorates that you've represented. You have served your community and the Labor cause with great distinction, and you can always count these years as among your finest moments. To all my staff, I have been blessed with a remarkably talented team. People with very strong values and an awesome work ethic. People who daily made my job a pleasure, who brought intellect and passion and, importantly, a great deal of humour to all of our challenges. I particularly want to acknowledge my Chief of Staff, Nicole Scurra. Nicole is fearless, she's relentless, she's extraordinary, and above all of that, she knows what it means to make a difference, and she never wasted a moment to do it. To the Australian Labor Party, to all of our members, to our affiliated trade unions and all of our supporters. The great values that drive our party have been one of the great passions of my life, and I thank you for the opportunity to put those values into practice in government. To all of our candidates, to all of our party workers, to all of the supporters who've been out there each and every day through this campaign, I thank you for all that hard work, especially today, but for every one of the last 35 days. Can I say that you have been a constant source of inspiration to me, and I thank you for that. Friends, for Labor and our supporters, days like today are very, very tough days, but they are just as much a part of our democracy as our days of victory. And on days like today, it is even more important that we remember who we are. We are the party that has transformed this state. We are the party that has built the foundations of a modern and progressive Queensland. The Queensland of today is simply unrecognisable from the Queensland that we inherited when we came into government. We have a record that we can be very proud of. We have built a platform that has catapulted Queensland into the 21st century. So as we confront this very, very difficult result tonight, I want us to remember that it was our Labor government that steered Queensland through the global financial crisis, that kept jobs, protected jobs and created jobs. was our Labor government that introduced our prep year, that more than doubled the number of kindergarten places, and that built a smart Queensland based on research and innovation. It was a Labor government that rebuilt Queensland's hospitals and reduced our elective surgery waiting times to the best in Australia. It was our Labor government that protected our precious environment with our tree clearing laws, with our protections for the Great Barrier Reef and our wild rivers, with our green zones, our new national parks and our solar power programs. And friends, it's our Labor government that's put this state on the national map when it comes to arts and culture. We in Labor here in Queensland, I think, can be very proud that when Queensland gave us a chance to shape our state, we didn't waste a moment. We took every chance to transform the place and to build a better and fairer place. Every achievement that we have made has been driven by Labor values, our passion for equality of opportunity. These are the values that drive me, and I know they're the values that drive every member of our party. Together, we have built much more than a legacy. We have built a rock-solid foundation for a better Queensland. There is so much to be proud of, but for me, I think our proudest moment in the past few years has been the moment when we stood together and shoulder to shoulder we confronted our worst ever natural disasters, and together we have recovered and we have rebuilt. It was a moment when we stood tall in the eyes of the nation and in the eyes of the world, and it is a moment that we will forever remember. In the coming days and months, there will be plenty of commentary and analysis about this election, and tonight I just want to make a couple of points. Firstly, there is a cycle in politics. The momentum for change grows and grows and becomes more and more powerful. Friends, it was there in 2006, it was there in 2009, and on both occasions we defied gravity. But by 2012, it had simply become overwhelming. No doubt the issue of asset sales will feature in that commentary. And I want to say that it is true that these were very painful for Labor. But I know in my heart that they were absolutely necessary to hold on to jobs during the GFC, and I will never regret doing what had to be done to protect our government building program and the 200,000 jobs of Queenslanders that went with it. But it is equally true that I was simply unable to bring the community and the wider Labor movement with me on this issue, and as leader I accept responsibility for that. Friends, Queenslanders today have decisively endorsed change. Clearly a change of government, but I think they've emphatically also endorsed a message of change for the Labor Party. Our challenge now is to hear that message and to turn our very best efforts to rebuilding and renewing our cause and our sense of purpose. Tonight, as I finish my remarks, my greatest thanks goes to my family, to my husband Greg, to our boys, Joe, who worked so hard out there on polling booths today, and to Oliver, to my mother, who's been such a source of inspiration to me. And to my extended family. Our love and support and devotion to each other has been an absolute rock to me and to all of us through our ups and downs in life. And I thank each and every one of them for being that rock and for giving me the chance to live my dream. Special thanks to Oliver today for voting for me on his birthday. At this time, 19 years ago, I was in Labor. And this campaign's been a bit like that, but it's been 5 weeks longer. Queenslanders, it has been my privilege to serve as your 23rd Premier and Australia's first elected woman Premier. My fellow Queenslanders, I hope that you feel that I never faltered when you needed me to be strong, that I never shied away from the big policy issues and the tough decisions, and that I always held your interest in my heart as I governed Queensland. So Queenslanders, thank you. It's been an honour.